Before I begin the video, I just want to flag, as always, that I am not a qualified financial advisor and nothing I say should be considered as financial advice. Hello, I'm the Jody Saver, and in this video I'm going to be talking through my stocks and shares ISA balance for May 2025. So I have been investing in a stocks and shares ISA for a few years now. I invest in a global index fund. Whilst I don't go into the exact nature of the fund I invest in, because I'm not a financial advisor, it's useful just for people to know that when I talk about investments, I'm talking about my the global index fund that I invest in, which is held within a stocks and shares ISA. So at the end of April 2025, I had a balance of £8,625. And it was a bit odd at the end of April, and this is to be expected with long-term investing, that you sometimes have periods like this. That so far in 2025, although I'd contributed a few £100, so £325 that you can see here, you'll notice that my balance has still reduced from what it was at the start of the year. So it was £8,915 in the start of January, and at the end of April it was £8,625, and that's because the increase in balance from purchases in my fund wasn't enough to offset the losses from the market. And what I mean by a loss, it's an unrealized loss, because I haven't sold any of my investments, but the value of my investments has reduced down. So the value had reduced down. We'll jump straight into the figures. So for May 2025, we started with a balance of the £8,625. I purchased £100 of the global index fund I invest in. The income return was 3 pence. Now, I think what this income return means is some of the investments I hold in my portfolio, some of them pay dividends. Dividends are paid quarterly. So you can see in April I got a dividend payment, but in May the 3p, and in these other months, that is interest on cash that is held within my account. So sometimes my dividends payment, all the time I should say, my dividends payments get paid into the cash kind of section of my account. I then reinvest those dividends, but there's a period when those dividends are left in my cash section and they accrue a little bit of interest, which here is 3p. So the good news is this month the market gain was £395. So the value of my investments went up by 5% in May. So it was nice to see a green month after a few months of red. The fees this month, I didn't pay any fees. Now, I pay £4 a month, I think, fees, but I still don't know when the schedule is for those fees being actually charged. So I think April's represented 1 and a bit months of fees, so I expect that maybe in June I will be charged some fees to the value of probably £4 a month, but I'll see what happens there. So my cumulative return, so the amount that my investments have increased by in value since I started investing, is £1,694, and the final balance at the end of May was £9,120. But as I mentioned before, these are long-term investments. At the minute, I've just been kind of investing, 100. Some months it was £200 a month, but mainly it's been kind of around £100 a month I've been investing. I'm hoping that once I've got my emergency fund fully loaded, then I can increase my contributions to my investments. So the overall figures So this first chart just shows the fluctuation in kind of gains and losses. So the value of my investments, it shows you that month on month. So at the start here, the first month I invested, my balance went up in value by 7%. But you can see some months it's been, as much as 9%. It's went down in value, and you can see that there's quite a lot of variation month on month. So this rough calculation at the start just shows the number of months I've been investing, which is 72 months. 60% of those months I've seen my investments rise in value, but 40% of them I've seen my investments reduce in value. I think what's probably important to note on this is really it's been useful to invest over a number of years, so I can just understand what's sort of typical in terms of fluctuations. So yeah, I'm quite comfortable now with seeing kind of, a couple of months ago there was a 6% reduction in value of my investments. I'm quite comfortable with that because it's part of the nature of investing in a stock market that I've seen over the past few years. And even though I got a very small balance invested, because I've been building up my sort of tolerance to market fluctuations, it means that it gives me a bit more confidence for, if I was to up my contributions to say £500 a month, I'd feel more confident doing that now that I've been investing for a while than I would be if I just started investing and then started investing that kind of a large sum of money. And then, the other chart here just shows how the value of my investments have been increasing over time. I'm now at 9,120. It's nearly it's nearly back at the peak of what my investments were. It's been quite a linear trajectory in my investments, but the reason for that is because the majority of my increase in balance comes from my contributions, because as I said, I'm mainly contributing £100 or so a month. My aims over the next few months is hopefully by the end of the year I'll have my emergency fund fully funded. It'd be great if I could have like £6,000 at least in my emergency fund, and then then I'll start upping my contributions to my investments, because my aim, again, this is my personal opinion, is that I really want to have sort of diversified between overpaying my mortgage, having a good cash emergency fund. When I mean cash, I mean it's easily accessible, but it is in a bank account, and then also an investment, long-term investment balance, which I'm contributing to each month. It's accruing interest, and then it means that I'll have, hopefully over 10-20 years, I'll have a big pot of money that I can draw from and use if I want to bridge the gap between maybe retiring from work and when I can withdraw a work-based pension. So before I waffle anymore, I thought I'll just give that update. As always, if you've got any comments, if you're on a similar journey, then drop them down below, and I'll see you on the next video.